UQAM, Concordia for short, organized, of course, by students of the CELAT-UQAM lab, Corine, Amina, Simone, but also two students here based in Concordia, Connie and myself, Richy. Welcome, folks. Welcome. Come in. If you want some Coke, by the way, grab some. Go for it. You can see it's a little chilly here. It's Monday morning, first day of classes, but let's jump right in. Plonger dans la nostalgie. What's going on here? So we just had our first panel of presentations. If you want to go back, look on the Fourth Spaces YouTube channel for that. But right now we have an art exposition, right? An art expo in a farmer's market style. I'm just going to talk to Akemi over here. Akemi, hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Of course, thank you for, I think this is one of your first times doing this, right?
Yeah, it is. It is my first time.
How do you feel other than the cold in this room? Do you feel nervous?
I feel a bit nervous. I'm looking all around and people are really talented. I really like what I'm seeing, so I'm happy I'm part of this, really. I'm really grateful.
Well, we're all the lights that make the disco floor glow, so why don't you tell us a little bit about Saint-Péternel, perhaps just about the whole, why is there a poem format here, but also the film? Just take us through what's on your mind about this.
Well, I've been writing poems for quite a while now, and I've been also interested in doing movies. And I was like, you know what, let me just mix both of them together. And so this poem I thought fit well with nostalgia, even though I didn't write it directly thinking about nostalgia. I mostly wrote it because for me it describes a period, not a period, a moment in time that's really special and that's outside of physical space, and it's almost indescribable. And I felt like writing it, and I realized that most of my poems, it's me writing something that's nostalgic, and writing makes me able to go back to this time, go back to this feeling that I had. And so that's why I felt like it would fit well with the nostalgia. And Saint-Péternel is one of my favorite words ever. I have it tattooed on me. And it's a never-ending cycle. It's a loop that repeats itself all the time, and I felt like that moment in time was not like a loop, but going away from that moment was the loop. Always escaping from that moment, the fact that that moment never lasts, even though I wish that it would, is the Saint-Péternel performance. The performance is going back to reality, going back to the fact that this moment will not be always there. And that is my Saint-Péternel performance. And the video is a bunch of videos of my friends, of my family, of my life that I put together with a music that I really like. And yeah.
Holy moly. So it's perpetual, it's perennial, almost as if it's like the surface of the water, right? Just on the horizon, always growing, but never really there.
It's almost unreal. It's like something that I want to catch, that I want to have, but that is almost impossible to feel again. It's indescribable.
Is there a way that viewers at home can learn more? Maybe you have a social media, or is there something they can visit, website?
I have an Instagram page, but it's more of my personal Instagram page. I really would like to start doing something more about my personal art pieces, but I really just started posting my art pieces. Before I never posted my poems, but yeah, I think you guys could see me at 4_Kemi with 2 I, and soon enough I'll post something about creating a new account just for my art.
See that? First time? Ooh, did so well. Thank you again, Kemi.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, Lisa. Lisa, hi, how are you? Hi, this is Lisa. How are you? So Lisa, I think, oh my goodness, have a look at this. In your abstract, you mentioned, right, that there were yourself and another person, Leno? Yeah, Leno as well. Tell us a little bit about this collective in French as well, if you want, and maybe about your work and its relation with nostalgia, perhaps.
So this is a collaboration with my brother. And since we have the same background and we're both artists, I thought it would be interesting to see how our individual experiences in Montreal would influence our individual styles and then how they could be combined together. So essentially, the relationship to nostalgia is that in this piece I wanted to come back to things I grew up with with a Dutch culture that was brought by my parents. And so I wanted to include a ballad, a Dutch ballad. So the letters of Leno are the ones that kind of tell the ballad in a abstracted way. But essentially the ballad says, the translation in French is Dors bébé dors, un mouton marche dehors, un mouton aux pieds blancs qui boit son lait si doux. Dors bébé dors, un mouton marche dehors.
Hence, Le Mouton is here. Oh, wow. Just one more question between you and your brother. How long did it take you both to think, plan, and create this piece? And
A couple months, but just here and there working on it. Yeah.
so I guess nostalgia runs through you both, I suppose. A couple of months. That's impressive. If people wanted to learn more about your work or your duo, right, where can they find you? Website, Instagram? Is there something?
I have Instagram. Well, my Instagram is eruciforme. I don't know if I should.
We will tag it in the Instagram video. So follow at Nostagain and we will tag your tag. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, as if we're tying things together. Guess what? Odds and ends are coming up. Woo! I like that segue. So not so long ago, you were both here for the soccer market, right? Now, tell us, right, this is where we met, actually. Tell us a little bit about what you did then, what has changed now, and where do you hope this is going to go? Perhaps in relation to nostalgia. I'll let you hold the mic, just in case.
Well, I won't say what has changed because Odds and Ends is a project we've been developing for 3 years now. This is the third year. So it's a project that we wanted to repurpose seemingly kind of worthless material or leftover bits from other project or upcycle materials that we found from soccer or just our studios. And we wanted to use these materials to give them a second life, create new project or new meaning from these existing materials and meanings. So last time when we were here, when we met Richy, we had 2 chapters. And then this is our latest chapters. We finish it for this event. It's our launch. So we call them chapters. This is chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3. So 3 is the latest one. It's called GameCube. So inside it contains a few different objects that are meant to provide answers if you pose a question to it. Yeah. So it includes tarot cards, fortune-telling sticks, coins, a fortune cookie, and a row of dice. And they are not that practical. Rather, they take an art form to manifest the concept of these items. So this is not like real tarot cards, but it kind of represents the idea of the tarot cards. So that's our latest one, and then this is our older one. Chapter 2 is 2 accordion booklets. One is of an analog collage, and this one is a digital text collage. And on chapter 2, we're trying to create new meaning by rearranging text and images from existing material. And chapter 1 is our first one. Obviously, we have a lot of loose paper-based items in there. We call it confetti because this was the first time we were trying to experiment with an unbound format of what we call printed matter in print media. So compared to a traditional bound book object, we wanted to experiment with a different form that only contains meaning in a container. So all of these objects and meaning, they can be individual, but also as a collection. Yes, so that's the basic introduction of the project. Do you want to talk about the nostalgia part?
Well, nostalgia is especially related to our third chapter because we have games which we played as kids or which are older games or, card games. And also nostalgia is always related to our materials. Always, because in repurposing something, you take on the meaning of what that was, you work with that meaning, you think about it, you try to pay respect to that meaning. So our materials are a form of thinking about nostalgia in all our projects. That's it.
Holy moly, you can fit nostalgia in a box, unravel it, accordion it. Pandora's box, this is one you want to open. If you want to learn more, I think people can just pause the screen and scan. Those are their Instagrams. Sabina and Halem, fantastic duo. Odds and ends, keep tying us together, keep holding us together. Speaking of holding, let's hold on. Thank you. Let's hold on to, oh my goodness, Sabina, you're still here. And where is Pramila? Pramila's right there. Hi, Pramila, how are you? Good to see you again. Okay, my goodness, mail, letters to home. Oh my gosh. Okay, just like odds and ends, a lot of work went into this. Tell us, what is this about? What's the relation to nostalgia? Perhaps a little bit about, your reflections on it. Do you want to, Pramila?
Yeah, this is like one of the installation or a project where we kind of come to the smaller scale. We both started last 2 years doing different kind of collaboration in public spaces, in greenhouse, in workshops, and we kind of connected on this idea of circle, a dot, human circle, and then as we meet all the time, these are more like, sitting together across the table as we are talking to each other, sharing stories, and start drawing. That was our first drawing, and it became like artwork altogether, which we never planned or imagined. And we're like, this is really great. We should do it more. And there onwards, we started connecting more on this idea of home nostalgia. And it's not only a memory, but it's also like around the different geographical displacement, and there are so many things happening right now in the world as well, right? So how it connects with that, and I would like you to also put your...
Yeah, nostalgia nostalgia in letter writing and sending by mail, which is, we're talking about, Canada Post kind of disappearing. So there's also nostalgia of handwriting, nostalgia of using an analog map. And we, besides the drawing, we came together, we just discovered that we both love maps, and I had my maps and Pramila had her maps. And then we just combined all those elements together into sort of a visual homage to mail art, to home, and to somebody's place in the world.
They always said it wasn't the destination, it's the journey, right? And in the case of today, it's the journée d'étude. Please like. Press like, do not press dislike. Final question. Who are these letters sent from and sent to, in your opinion? Just,
Question, and hard one as well. They can be to anyone. Like when I said in the beginning, nostalgia, and I'm finding my home, my belonging. It can be to my grandmother, let's say, who's not around anymore. And I was just talking to a friend right before we met, because my whole PhD is kind of based on that nostalgia, that memory, and how I'm trying to bring back the idea of material and, working with it. So these letters can be among friends, among many, many things. It's not a one way of writing letter. Also, like right now, also whenever I'm traveling for my conferences or any work, I tend to send postcards everywhere. And it's amazing to see when you go to post office in different countries. It's amazing, like how it works, just to observe that idea of sending one postcard and how people are ready to help you and trying to talk to you.
I think right now it's mostly a conversation between you and me. And the next step of this would be to kind of involve other people and ask them what home is and who they would send a letter, and how we can transform this into a workshop, which is what we're probably interested in doing next.
So to send and have something sent back, check out their Instagrams here, wonderfully provided by Pramila and Sabina. So check them out. Write to them on Instagram nonetheless. Make sure you put in the Canada Post stamp. Thank you again. Thank you so much. Yum! Oh my goodness. Hello, apple juice. Our penultimate one, let's talk about, oh my goodness me. Il s'intègre vers une utopie écotopique. Tell us a little bit about this whole setup. My goodness, what nostalgia are you talking about, and why does it look like this?
What nostalgia am I talking about? I think I wanted to explore ruins and utopias, which Saint-Hélène is mostly known for Expo 67. And since Expo 67, there haven't been much project on the island. So I wanted to kind of think, how can we reappropriate the island? And I think it comes from reappropriating the archives. So I dug deep into the archives and I was trying to figure out why is it in the state it is today, meaning why do people keep proposing new projects and having utopias for these islands, but at the same time it kind of remains untouched. And so it was the idea to get the archives, work with it, and then let the public work with it too to make them reappropriate this place.
And I see here as well, like the way that you've produced Utopia is always a work in progress, right? That it's always a blueprint for the future, but also sort of a foundation for the past, the way they were, right, for futurism. So for folks who are visiting your booth here, I see you have a call to contribute.
Yeah.
What are you hoping people here can do to this blueprint of Utopia? Tell us a little bit of that.
Well, my ideal would be just for people to be curious about the archives and to dig deep in the archives and, get to know them as I got to know them, and just make their own thing with it. And it's very the idea of maybe an atlas where all the memories are collected and maybe all the subjectivities can meet on the canvas for to create this new utopia, maybe.
And you use the word ideal as well, Utopia. So to be ideal, people, are you curious, people? Yeah. Very good. People are here. So if people want to learn more about your work, can they find you anywhere? Instagram, Facebook, YouTube?
Yes, they can find me on Instagram at grand.corps.sec, which is grand.corps.sec.
Rewind that. And if it's still too fast for you, maybe see a doctor, just in case. Just joking. Thank you again, Kiam. Thank you so much. Contribute, people. Let's go to the last, let's run to the last art booth. And I think we're just going to be peering in to M over here, who's running a performance. M here is Let Jeur, Récit et d'Inter, Trans de mon corps amnesque. And M is a PhD student as well. M is a master's student at UQAM with Catherine and Niemeyer, and they work primarily on the amnesia and historical past as well as personal memory. And this is one way in which M is literally holding on for as long as they can. It's sort of a tarot reading, sort of a reading into, and the way that they've described it is they will continue to engage with participants until M literally collapses. So it's the weight of nostalgia, it's the weight of unlocking that. And as the more people M talks to, the fewer energy they have, so they fizzle out, just like what we have in our pursuit of the past for the way they were. It's tiring to realize our nostalgia. So this is that in this physical form. And if you want to learn more about M's work, just follow us at Nostagain on Instagram, and you'll see our stories posting about M's work as well. Awesome. Okay, let's come back to where we started just to wrap up. Of course, we want to thank the CELAT-UQAM lab, as well as the Fourth Space, Doug, Isa, Birdie, and Jack, as well as Dr. Catherine and Niemeyer. If you are interested in learning more, write to us at nostalgia.conco.uqam, UKAM, at gmail.com.